I think one of my old friends is dead. This is a bit of a rant because I just remember the majority of it. I don't remember much of when I was fairly younger than I currently am, 15, so I might be missing some details, but I have been piecing together who I met 5 years ago. I remember sometime around February of my 5th grade year, a girl seemed to appear out of nowhere. I didn't have class with her, but she was in the class right next door. There were no doors separating the 5th grade classes from each other, only thin walls. She never really seemed to talk or interact with people, and I rarely saw her myself. She was almost never at school, and I don't think I ever heard the teacher call her name for attendance. She always sat alone at lunch, and the few times she ever sat with other people, usually my friend group, she wouldn't really talk to any of them. The only time she ever talked to me was when the other people around us were busy with something else or were looking away. I slowly got to know her, bit by bit. Her name was Molly, and she had a few brothers. She had brown hair that was always in a perfectly straight bob cut, and she only ever wore 5 shirts. The only one I can really remember was a light purple t-shirt with some white details and the cap on the front. She had a few freckles, and her eyes were a pretty brown. She was very shy and wouldn't really say much other than short sentences. Molly loved walking around the outskirts of the playground at recess, but after the whistle blew and we had to go in, she never seemed to line up with the rest of us. Around the time my birthday was coming up and I was handing out invitations, I really wanted to invite her to get to know her more because she seemed like a nice girl. I saw her when we were outside taking a short break from class, and I began talking to her about it. I told her it would be a pool party at the rec center in the next town over because it had a better pool. She told me she would try to make it, but only if her dad would let her. She never gave me her dad's number so I could give it to my mom, yet she told me her dad would call my mom if she could make it. Around this time, some of my friends were approaching me, and she noticed this. She seemed a bit frantic and told me to give her my hand. She pulled out the plastic heart ring she was wearing and placed it in my hand, saying, "If I can't make it to your party, this is my gift to you," before walking off. After she gave me that ring, I didn't take it off for the rest of the year. Some of my friends would ask me why I was wearing it because it was ugly. I would tell them that Molly gave it to me, but they would give me weird looks, yet they never asked more than that about it. The next day, I didn't see her, but in my classroom mailbox, she left a little pink bear and a torn-up cake squishy with a note reading something along the lines of "Happy Birthday. This is the rest of my gift to you." She never made it to my party, nor did my mom ever get a call. After that, I didn't see her again until a few weeks before school ended. Our school was having us take a tour of the middle schools we chose to go to. Before I saw her, she was sitting alone in a section that all the teachers said was empty. I asked her what school she was going to, and she simply replied, "Garden of the Gods." Because I wanted to stay in touch with her, I asked where she lived so I could visit her sometime. She described the old abandoned house on one of the outer streets of my neighborhood that no one had lived in for years. I told her that I would try to visit sometime that week with my mom to make sure it was the right house. Molly nodded and then walked off. At the end of that week, me and my mom visited the old house. Molly wasn't there, nor was either her brother or her dad. No one was in that house because, like I said, it was abandoned and never sold again after the last people to move in left right after hearing about what happened to the man in that house and how he died. After that interaction with her, I never saw her again. Not even at the end of the year assembly we were all required to go to full bonding time, when the teachers were showing pictures of everyone who was in our current 5th grade classes. Molly was never brought up, nor did she make an appearance in the yearbook as far as I remember. I would check, but I don't have my yearbook anymore. After that, my mom and friends pestered me more and more about my ring until I eventually eventually stopped wearing it. I still have it, but I repainted it after all the silver paint had come off it. I always told them it was a gift from Molly, but they had no idea who I was talking about, so I stopped bringing her up until a little while ago with my mom. She told me she never remembered the girl I was talking about. She only remembered that I was looking for someone. I told her that was crazy because she was the one who gave me the ring and was stuffy, but nothing ever clicked. Then we talked more about the house Molly told me she lived in, and my mom told me the last owners tried to sell it as quickly as possible because of the man who died there, but Molly never moved back in, which is why the grass was never cut and it looked like it was starting to fall apart. Eventually, we started to consider the idea that Molly was a ghost. It was just strange that I got a physical gift from her, but it wasn't impossible, especially because of other incidents with spirits we had. I still have no idea what happened to Molly or how she really was, but I really do think she was simply a ghost, and that's why no one remembers her. I must have been the only one that could see her. I have met plenty of other ghosts, but she is the first and only spirit to give me a physical gift. And don't get me wrong, I normally don't mind meeting ghosts. I just wish I knew she was one before